This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp recently surveyed over 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it's wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. Because we're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/stopthestigma for their first ever State of Stigma report, the latest in mental health research.
Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson. I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. Before I knew what a covert narcissist was, I knew that the conversations we were having, they just didn't make sense. I knew I always walked away feeling worse than I did before, feeling less connected, more distant. I knew that the more I tried to explain myself, the more confused I became. In today's episode, we're talking about circular conversations. You know, those emotionally draining, logic-defying, soul-twisting dynamics that they just happen when you try to resolve conflict with a covert narcissist. I mean, have you ever tried to resolve conflict with a covert narcissist? It's not possible. In fact, it's not even that it's not possible, it's maddening when you try to do this. You see, conflicts are a normal part of every relationship. They are simply going to happen, but you resolve them. You have to. You can't just pretend they don't exist. You can't just ignore them and wait for them to go away, at least not for any length of time in a relationship that matters. Things simply have to be able to resolve. But with a covert narcissistic person, trying to resolve conflict with them is incredibly frustrating. It's exhausting, time consuming, and straight up maddening. To me, this was one of the most painful parts of my entire marriage. Before I ever heard the phrase covert narcissism, I already knew that something was off. I didn't have a name for it, but I had a feeling. I knew that my words got twisted. I knew that my feelings got dismissed and invalidated. I knew that conversations that started with me asking for clarity and reciprocation and reconciliation ended with me doing all the apologizing. I used to walk away from these conversations or arguments or competitions, whatever you ended up calling them. I used to walk away thinking, what just happened? Did I even make sense in there? Did we make any progress? And because I didn't have the words, I kept blaming myself. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. Maybe I really am too sensitive. Maybe I'm overreacting. Well, I want to give you an example of what a circular conversation with a covert narcissist actually sounds like. This is a typical one that leaves you doubting your memory, your motives, your reality, your perceptions. Now, this version, it captures how covert narcissists often even sabotage resolution by giving you just a little bit of hope. It's like it's within reach just to pull the conversation yet right back again into frustration, blame, and emotional manipulation and exhaustion. So here's the dialogue. Let's start with the covert narcissist. So you just decided to go out last night without even checking with me? You respond, I told you 2 days ago that I had plans with Rachel. I haven't seen her in months. Yeah, but you didn't ask how I felt about it. You just assumed it was fine. Because we didn't have anything planned. You said you were working late, so I figured it was okay. That's not the point. You used to care about including me. Now you just go do whatever you want and you expect me to be okay with it. Wait a minute. I do care. I let you know what was going on. I just wanted one night to catch up with a friend. This wasn't meant to hurt you. You say that now, but you didn't even text to see how I was doing. You didn't text me either, because I figured you were too busy having fun to care about how I was doing. Now that's not fair. I wasn't ignoring you. We just didn't text that day. I was just enjoying some connection outside of this house, which I think we both need sometimes. So clearly, I'm not good enough for you that you have to go find connection somewhere else. You are all I need, but apparently I can't be that for you. Sorry you married such a loser. I never said you were a loser. Just because I want to do things with other people too doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I don't want to be with you. I do love you. I do care about you. I don't know. It just feels like I don't matter. But you do matter. I'm not trying to push you away. I just need a little time with my friend, that's all. I'm sorry that it felt like rejection. I mean, yeah, okay. Maybe I've been a little on edge lately. It's just hard. Sometimes I feel like I'm always on the outside of your life. Thank you for saying that. I don't want you to feel that way. So, next time I'll work hard to find a better way to talk about things. So you're already planning next time? I should have known. Honestly, I don't know if I can keep pretending that I'm okay with always being your second priority. Wait a minute. I thought we were starting to understand each other. I thought we were getting somewhere. No, you're just hearing what you want to hear. I said I'm tired of feeling like I'm not enough for you, but clearly you don't care. Wait, that's not it at all. I've been trying to meet you in the middle. No, you've been trying to win. You always want to win. You always get your way. You always turn things around so that I'm the unreasonable one, like I'm crazy for having feelings. That's not true. I've been listening to you. I've been talking with you. This is genuine conversation. I even apologized. Yeah, well, an apology doesn't fix the fact that you'd rather spend time with anyone else but me. That's not what I said. You're twisting this. Forget it. I should have known better than to bring it up in the first place. I'm always the bad guy. You win. Go have fun with your friends. You're going to do that anyways. And they walk off. Now, this conversation is a classic example of a circular conversation. Now, they walk away, leaving you feeling more disconnected than ever. You now feel bad for going out with your friend. You feel bad for communicating to them somehow that they're a loser or that you don't want to spend any time with them. You now feel obligated to make things right, to show them that you're invested in them. And in the long run, you quit making plans with your friends because the price is just too high. Now, in this particular example, you have this moment in the middle where it feels like the conversation is going in a good direction. Maybe we're getting there. Maybe we're almost to a point of reconciliation. There's even a little bit of vulnerability, and their feelings start to show a little bit with some sensitivity. Maybe we're starting to understand, and this is going to actually be okay. It almost reaches that point until it doesn't. It snaps right back into this guilt tripping, blame shifting, victim mode, reframing you as the villain and denying any progress. It's like you just started all over again. I don't know about you, but there were so many conversations where I thought, okay, finally, now we're doing okay. Now this is going to resolve and we can, be good and we can move on with life. We can head to bed, whatever it is that was going on, only to have this completely turn around and you're right back in the muck. I remember thinking to myself, how did we end up back here again? And this could happen an hour in, 2 hours in, 3 hours in, 3 days in. Now, it doesn't matter what you do or try when you are in a circular conversation with a covert narcissist. You are in a trap. You try to be calm and they say you're being cold. You try to show emotion and they say you're being dramatic. You try to clarify and they say you're arguing. You try to connect and they say you're being selfish. No matter what road you take, the destination is always the same. You're the problem here. Now, what makes these conversations so destructive? There's a few things here that really stand out. One is that there's no resolution. I think that is the most painful piece of all of this. Things never actually get resolved. They just pause until next time, and they'll get brought up again and again. They get swept under the rug until they're not under the rug anymore. They're shifting goalposts. Just when you think you're reaching understanding, it moves yet again. Just when you think you've got a direction that needs to be taken, it moves again. There's victim role reversal. You bring up your pain, but they become the wounded one. And there's reality distortion. Your version of events never matters. Your version of events is minimized, denied altogether. Basically, there is no space for you, your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions. They don't want clarity. You need to understand that. They don't want resolution. They want.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp recently surveyed over 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it's wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. Because we're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/stopthestigma for their first ever State of Stigma report, the latest in mental health research.
To win. They want to control. Now, here's another dialogue, and this one shows a classic example of gaslighting. So, after an evening event that you thought went quite well, and they seemingly thought went quite well, at least they showed that, this is now the next morning. We'll start again with the covert narcissist. So, I just didn't exist last night. Wait, what? What do you mean? At the party, you spent the whole time chatting with everyone else, but I wasn't worth your time or attention. It was like I wasn't even there. What are you talking about? I introduced you to 3 different people. I kept checking in with you. I even asked if you were okay when you looked a little quiet sitting off by yourself. You only introduced me to them when I walked over. You didn't ask me to join you. You clearly didn't really want me there. Like, you just introduced me then to look good. You were doing it all for show. That's not true. I invited you to come because I wanted you there. I was making an effort to make sure you felt included. You had no problem laughing with everyone else, but with me, it felt cold, like I was some obligation. I'm really confused here. I thought we were having a good time. You sure seemed like you were having a good time. I was trying to make sure you felt comfortable. It's like I'm invisible to you unless someone else is watching. You have no idea how hurtful it is to stand in a room full of people and feel completely alone next to the person who's supposed to care. Now I'm going to put a pause here, and I'm going to say what thought goes through your mind. I have no idea what it feels like to stand beside someone who's supposed to care and feel completely alone. You got to be kidding me. Okay? But that's not what we say out loud, but that's definitely what went through my mind. Instead, we say, I didn't ignore you. I kept coming back to you. I was hosting, but I was trying to balance talking to everyone, including you. There's always an excuse, isn't there? You always create drama. You always have a way of justifying why I feel like crap. You never actually take responsibility. You don't take me seriously. Yes, I do. I am taking you seriously. I put a whole lot of effort into making sure you had a good time. I'm just telling you now how it looked from my side. You don't get to tell me how I feel. You made me feel unwanted, and now you're gaslighting me like I'm just imagining things. Well, there's the classic switch of now accusing you of doing the very thing they're doing to you. This example is full of a denial of facts, saying things like, that's not true, or you're remembering it wrong, minimizing and reframing, telling you you're being overly sensitive, or they might tell you that you're acting paranoid, blame shifting, accusing you of creating drama, victim reversal, they act wounded despite all of your efforts to be inclusive with them. Emotional distortion, accusing you of faking kindness and attention. I got accused of, you're just pretending that way, or you're just doing that because you have to. You are faking kindness when I know I was being genuine. Invalidating your intentions, dismissing your care as being performative. Guilt tripping. You made me feel alone next to the person who was supposed to care. That's guilt tripping and projection. False accusations of gaslighting, accusing you of doing exactly what they're doing. Covert narcissists flip reality on its head. They accuse you of abandoning them when you're really trying to show up for them. You're putting in the effort, you're trying to do everything you can to make life good for them, and they're accusing you of abandoning them, and then they turn around and abandon you by going off to their addictions or their isolation or their, friends or whatever it is that they go off to. The result of all of this, you are emotionally spinning in circles. They come out calm and just simply move on with life, and you come out questioning your own reality. You come out doubting your own perceptions, blaming yourself, and working double time now to fix the relationship. I want you to know that you can never win a circular conversation with a covert narcissist. There is no win. In conflict resolution within a marriage, I define win as reaching resolution, coming to mutual understanding and reuniting with love and deeper trust. Not only does this not happen, it doesn't even seem to be what the covert narcissist is seeking. To them, win is they win and you lose. I get my way and you don't. I get my opinion validated and you don't. See, with them, their win makes you lose. So you lose because resolution doesn't happen, and you lose because they win. So what do we do? What's the solution here? Stop spinning in the circular conversation. Learning to stop spinning in these situations is a large part of what I do in my coaching sessions. I can absolutely help you to begin the process of getting off this hamster wheel with them, no matter the circumstances of your current situation. Now, right now, I'm going to give you a few simple steps to get you started on that process. Number one is the validation boundary combo. Hey, I can see that you're upset and I care, but I won't keep defending myself when I know I acted with integrity. You validate their feelings and you set your boundary. And boundaries are for you, not for them. Not you won't keep talking to me that way. The boundary is I won't keep defending myself, which means I get to walk away. The goal of a circular conversation for me in a covert narcissist is to walk away. Number two is grounding in reality. Say something like, hey, we remember that night differently. I'm willing to hear you out, but not if it requires denying my experience. So yes, I can hear him or her out, but I'm not going to deny what I went through, and I'm not going to defend myself. Number three is the soft exit. This is where you simply get yourself out of the situation. Hey, this feels like a loop, so I'm stepping away and we can revisit this later if it's calmer. And you walk away. Remember, you do not owe a 30-minute or 2-hour or 7-hour explanation for your reality. You don't owe this to anyone. Walking away is not giving up. It's opting out of the vicious cycle, this crazy making loop. And you are not selfish for protecting your peace. If you've ever walked out of a conversation feeling twisted in knots but couldn't explain why, you are not alone. Maybe you didn't have the words to describe what was going on. Maybe you couldn't name it. But if you felt it before you could name it, trust me, your body knew. Now, you do not need a PhD in narcissistic abuse to recognize when something is emotionally unsafe. You don't need the degree to know that something is wrong. Now you have the words, and that goes a long ways in strengthening your clarity and resolve. If you need help in stopping this dynamic in your world, help in putting things into a healthier perspective and understanding the dynamics and creating boundaries for you, please reach out to me. Check out my coaching services, they're group and individual, at covertnarcissism.com. Your story matters, and your sanity is not up for debate. Again, check it out at covertnarcissism.com. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. You have been listening to the Covert Narcissism podcast, where we break apart the insidious nature of these incredibly destructive and frustrating to the ends of the earth individuals. If you are struggling with the isolation, overwhelming self-doubt, and obsessive ruminating, you are not alone. I offer live, personalized coaching that is specific for you. This coaching can be individual or group sessions, or a combination of the two. You can find all the information at covertnarcissism.com. Reach out anytime. My email address is Renee, R-E-N-E-E, at covertnarcissism.com. And remember, I am not a therapist and you are not a victim, but I am a coach and you are a survivor. The information provided by Renee Swanson, Covert Narcissism Podcast, and CNG Life Coaching is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes. It is not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a health care provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. Renee shares stories from her personal experience as well as from those she has talked with for several years. Her material does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support any allegation or claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and information provided.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. BetterHelp recently surveyed over 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it's wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist, because we're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/stopthestigma for their first ever State of Stigma report, the latest in mental health research.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.